Hi, I'm Phil Hall for What Digital Camera. Welcome to our review of the eagerly anticipated Fujifilm FinePix X100. The FinePix X100 was the star of the show at Photokina last year when it was first announced, and ever since then we've been really keen to get our hands on a final production sample. And here it is, and the first thing you notice is the very classic retro design used here. So let's take a closer look at it. There's no getting away from the fact that the engineers at Fujifilm have taken inspiration from the classic rangefinder cameras like the Leica M series, but it's really successful. Even though it's a compact camera, it's got a lovely feel. This is a die-cast magnesium, so it gives a really firm, quality, high-end feel. Same on the base plate. You've got a nice hand grip here on the camera. The FinePix X100 also has a selection of body-mounted controls, including on the top plate the shutter speed control and exposure compensation. There's also the shutter button here, which is a screw thread for a cable release, which is a nice addition for a camera of this class. You're left in no doubt, as soon as you pick the X100 up, you're dealing with a precision photographic tool. It's a lovely camera to use and the build quality is fantastic. So moving on, what other main features have we got here? Well, the next one is this, the hybrid viewfinder. It's got a clever electronic optical viewfinder combination, so let's see how that works. At the moment with the X100 I'm using their optical viewfinder, which has got a 90% coverage and it's overlaid with a load of digital shooting information. I can then simply use the viewfinder selector switch mounted on the front of the camera to select the EVF. So I've now got a fully digital display with the same shooting information with 100% coverage, and I can flip easily between those two as I shoot. So you can see the viewfinder change. At the moment I'm in optical, then I go back to EVF. It's a really clever system and I'm really impressed. The optical viewfinder is great for being on the move, while the electronic viewfinder I found that I used quite a bit even though I had the optical option. So that was the X100's excellent hybrid viewfinder. It's a brilliant system and a great inclusion on this camera, but it's only as good as the images it takes. So the question is, can the X100 take a good picture? Let's go and find out. The X100 uses an APS-C size sensor, so similar to many DSLRs. It's got a resolution of 12.3 megapixels and an ISO range from 100 to 12,800. As it's a compact, it's got a fixed lens which is 23mm, which is the equivalent to 35mm in traditional 35mm shooting terms. It's got a maximum aperture of f2, so you're allowed to get those lovely shallow depth of field shots. So I'm going to go and take a couple of shots now and tell you how the images are and what it's like to use. I have to say, I've been really impressed by the image quality of the X100. Detail is very good, while the ISO range has performed very well. Even at the highest sensitivities, results are excellent and more than usable at the highest 12,800. So with that in mind, how does the X100 stack up? Let's go and have a look at our conclusions. It's clear that Fujifilm has put an awful lot of effort into the X100. Images are great, the build and design are fantastic. While there's a few quibbles about the AF at times, it's a lovely camera to use. Well, it might be hard to justify for people looking for a small compact over a compact system camera like the Lumix GF2 from Panasonic. As soon as you pick up the X100 and start using it and see the results, you'll want one. That's why we've given it a score of 90%.